It's 2:13 a.m. You're staring at your phone screen again. That same number sitting in your bank app. You swipe down, hoping it's changed. It hasn't. 4 digits, always 4. You start doing quiet math in your head. Rent, gas, groceries. You add, subtract, then add again, as if the numbers will suddenly make more sense. They don't. And somewhere deep down, that thought hits again. Am I ever going to get ahead? But here's what no one tells you. The line between barely keeping up and finally breathing isn't 6 figures. It's 5 digits, because something happens the moment your balance crosses $10,000. Not just in your account, but in your head. It's the moment the noise quiets down. The fear starts to fade. And for the first time, money stops controlling you. You start controlling it. That's the turning point almost no one talks about. Stay till the end, because this is the milestone that quietly changes everything. Most people think the big change happens at $1 million, or maybe when they finally make 6 figures. But the truth is, the first real transformation happens long before that. It starts the moment you hit $10,000, because $10,000 isn't just money. It's proof. Proof that you can hold on to what you earn. Proof that discipline actually works. And proof that freedom doesn't wait until you're rich. It starts the moment you're stable. The average person in the U.S. has less than $2,000 in savings. Nearly 60% couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency. So when you see 5 digits in your account for the first time, you're not just ahead. You're in a different financial reality. One where control finally shifts in your favor. In this video, you'll see why that moment matters more than any other. 7 reasons why everything changes after $10,000. And how each one quietly rewires the way you think about money forever. Reason number 1, it shatters a mental barrier. There's something surreal about seeing 5 digits for the first time. You stare at the number, half expecting it to disappear. As if your bank app might correct itself and go, sorry, mistake. But it doesn't. It stays. And that moment hits you harder than you expect. Because until then, money always felt like water. Coming in, rushing out, impossible to hold. But at $10,000, you've proven something that statistics say most people never do. You've built consistency. You didn't just earn money, you kept it. The average American never breaks the 4-digit range. Between rent, car payments, and impulse spending, they stay trapped in financial quicksand. Earning just enough to survive, never enough to breathe. So when your balance turns 5 digits, it's not just progress, it's identity. You're no longer someone trying to save, you're someone who does. That first $10,000 isn't about the math, it's about the mindset. You stop asking, can I do this? You already did. And suddenly, your entire financial story changes. Because once you've proven you can climb this first hill, you realize the rest of the mountain isn't impossible. It's just time. This is the first moment money gives you peace instead of panic. It's small, quiet, almost invisible. But you feel it every time you open your banking app and don't flinch. Every time an unexpected bill shows up and you think, I've got this. That's what crossing $10,000 really does. It replaces uncertainty with evidence. It's not luck, it's proof of control. The moment you realize that financial freedom isn't about being rich, it's about being ready. Reason number 2, compounding begins to work for you. Here's where the math finally starts feeling like magic. When your balance hits $10,000, something quiet but powerful begins happening. Your money starts to work harder than you do. Not overnight, not dramatically, but relentlessly. This is where compound growth stops being theory and starts being reality. Every dollar you save begins earning its own small paycheck, and that paycheck earns another. It's like planting a tree and watching it grow another branch every day, slowly, invisibly, until one day there's shade. Warren Buffett built almost all of his wealth after age 65. Not because he suddenly got smarter, but because time finally had enough money to work with. That's the real secret of wealth. The earlier you give your money something to do, the less you'll have to do later. At $10,000, your returns start to matter. A 7% annual gain, the historical average of the market, adds around $700 a year while you sleep. That's more than most people earn from entire weeks of side hustles, and all you did was wait. The best part? The next $10,000 comes faster. What took you 3 years before might take half that time now, because your savings are helping you save. The grind turns into momentum. Your graph stops crawling and starts curving upward. Most people never experience this shift. They give up too early, right before the snowball builds speed. But if you can hold your line here, even when it feels slow, you'll reach a point where money stops being stressful math and starts feeling like gravity, pulling you forward whether you move or not. That's the hidden advantage of $10,000. It's enough for compounding to get traction. Enough for time to become your business partner, and enough to make patience the most profitable skill you'll ever learn. It's not luck, it's leverage. And it starts the moment your money earns its own momentum. Reason number 3, it builds money confidence. Confidence doesn't start with success. It starts with evidence. And the moment your savings hit $10,000, that evidence becomes impossible to ignore. It's not a guess anymore. It's proof that you can. Up until now, you've probably been comparing yourself to people online, the ones flashing numbers you can't even imagine. It's easy to feel like you're behind, but here's the truth. Most of those highlight reels don't show the reality that nearly 60% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency. You are not behind. You're quietly doing what most never will, building stability that actually lasts. When you cross $10,000, the question shifts from can I to what's next? That single change in language, from doubt to direction, is the foundation of every wealth builder's mindset. You stop chasing quick wins and start designing a system that works even when you're tired, bored, or uncertain. And that confidence isn't loud. It's not about showing off or proving anything. It's quiet. The kind that lets you scroll through social media without anxiety. The kind that lets you breathe before checking your balance. That's real financial confidence. Not arrogance, not luck, but calm control earned one deposit at a time. From here, your habits stop feeling like sacrifice. They start feeling like power. Because every time you skip a meaningless expense, you remember what it gave you: peace. Every time you transfer another $200 into that account, you're not losing comfort, you're buying control. That's the hidden gift of $10,000. It's not about the balance itself. It's the identity that comes with it. You stop trying to be better with money and start being the kind of person who already is. And once you feel that, you'll never look at saving the same way again. Reason number 4, it covers 99% of emergencies. Emergencies don't wait for permission. They just show up, uninvited, inconvenient, and always at the worst time. And before $10,000, every one of them feels like a crisis. A flat tire, a medical bill, even a missed paycheck can send everything spiraling. But the moment you hit that 5-digit mark, something shifts. Those same moments stop feeling like disasters and start feeling like inconveniences. You don't panic, you plan, because now you have a cushion between you and chaos. A $10,000 safety net quietly covers 99% of what life can throw at you. The average emergency in the U.S. costs between $500 and $3,000. That means almost anything short of catastrophe can be solved. Without debt, without stress, without begging for time. It's what I call financial self-insurance. You've built your own version of peace of mind, and the feeling that comes with it is unlike anything money has ever bought you before. Not excitement, not pride, just quiet relief. I still remember the first time it happened, a $2,286 car repair. The kind of bill that would have destroyed my month. But that day, I just paid it. No panic, no credit card guilt. I drove home realizing something simple but life-changing. Money didn't save me. Preparation did. That's the hidden power of $10,000. It's not about buying anything new. It's about never having to sell your peace of mind again. Because when you can afford to handle problems, life stops feeling like an emergency waiting to happen. And that calm, that's what real wealth feels like. Reason number 5, it buys you freedom and better choices. When you're broke, you don't get to choose, you just react. You take the first job, the cheapest deal, the fastest fix, because options cost money and desperation can't afford them. But when you've got $10,000 sitting safely in your account, the entire equation changes. You don't say yes out of fear anymore. You say yes when it makes sense. That's what real freedom looks like. Time to think before you decide. That job that drains you, you can walk away. That landlord who raises rent, you can start looking somewhere better. That toxic client who underpays you, you can finally say no and mean it. I call it walking away money. It's not wealth you flaunt. It's leverage you quietly hold. And it changes how you carry yourself. You're calmer in meetings, clearer in choices, and harder to exploit. Because once you have options, you realize the goal was never luxury. It was leverage. The power to pause, to think, to choose, not just survive. That's the first taste of financial freedom most people ever experience. Reason number 6, it unlocks real investment options. Below $10,000, investing feels like watching paint dry. You put in money, but the growth feels microscopic. $10 here, 20 there, hardly motivating. But once you hit 5 digits, those same percentages start meaning something. A 10% return on $10,000 isn't pocket change. It's a full $1,000. Now you can see the results of your patience. That's the point where money stops sitting still. You can fund a Roth IRA, buy index funds, start a small side business. Moves that were abstract before now feel possible. And every one of them multiplies your momentum. It's not about risk, it's about readiness. Before $10,000, investing feels like gambling. And after $10,000, it feels like growth. Because now your foundation is solid enough to build on. Your savings aren't running from emergencies anymore. They're running toward opportunity. That's the moment your money becomes a worker, not a worry. Reason number 7, it breaks the cycle of financial anxiety. For most people, money means tension. Even when things seem fine, there's always that quiet hum of worry underneath. What if something goes wrong? That low-level anxiety follows you everywhere. It shapes your mood, your sleep, even the way you talk about plans. Because deep down, you know one unexpected hit could undo everything. But once you cross $10,000, that noise finally fades. You stop checking your balance in fear. You stop dreading the first of the month. You stop surviving and start strategizing. That's what abundance actually feels like. Not excess, not luxury, just the calm of knowing you're safe enough to make smarter moves. Your mind clears. You start noticing opportunities that were always there, but never visible through the noise. And for the first time, money becomes a tool, not a threat. That shift from fear to freedom isn't just financial, it's emotional. It changes how you show up at work, how you handle relationships, even how you carry yourself walking down the street. Because when you stop living in financial defense, you finally start playing offense. And that's when growth feels natural, not forced. That's when money stops controlling your life and starts expanding it.